thejellybeans.net.
Key West is a very walkable cruise port, especially if you want to explore the historic Old Town area on your own. Since we had visited Key West before and had already seen many of the city's more popular stops, we used our December 2025 visit to explore a different mix of places, including the Historic Seaport, a few quirky landmarks, the Key West Cemetery, and several food stops. In this video, we'll share everything we did along the way, including what we saw, what we ate, and how we spent our day exploring Key West on our own. Just a quick note that if you enjoy this video, please give us a thumbs up or leave a comment. It really helps our channel. And consider subscribing so you get alerted when we add new videos. After disembarking our ship, we walked along the pier, where several kiosks were set up for tours and more. During our visit, one of the kiosks had tickets available for the Key West Aquarium, various tours, and other local attractions. Other kiosks offered jet ski tours, bicycle rentals, and more. From the pier, we continued walking west onto Front Street. We then followed the road as it turned to the left and continued north. About a block later, we came to the red brick Custom House. Built in 1891 as a customs office, post office, and federal courthouse, the building was later restored and converted into the Key West Museum of Art and History. Although we didn't go inside, we did stop for a few minutes to admire the building's architecture from the sidewalk. Next door to the Custom House, we walked into the shops at Mallory Square. The long brick building was constructed in the late 1850s as the island's first permanent naval depot, and was later converted into a market with a collection of small shops. We walked through the market into Mallory Square, where we snapped photos with our cruise ship in the background. We also found a Welcome to Key West sign for more photos. Leaving the square, we browsed through the shops at the Mallory Square Market as we returned to Front Street. We then followed Front Street to the north and continued following the road as it turned toward the northeast at the intersection with Duval Street. We continued walking along Front Street to the intersection with Simonton Street, where we found the old Coca-Cola bottling court. Following a fire in 1886, the building housed a hardware store and Jack's Saloon before becoming the southernmost Coca-Cola bottling plant in 1923. The building had since been converted into offices and shops. However, the bottling court name was still displayed in a Coca-Cola-style font as a nod to its history. Continuing northeast along Front Street, we headed toward the Key West Historic Seaport near the Conch Republic Seafood Company. Several very large tarpon were swimming around the docks, and we were able to purchase food to feed them from the nearby food dispensers that required quarters to operate. Our jelly bean really enjoyed the experience, and we ended up spending about 30 minutes tossing food to the fish and watching them circle through the water around the docks. Walking along the waterfront toward the southeast, we came to Shrimp Boat Sound Studio, an unassuming building covered in stickers. The building was originally a shrimp storage cooler before Jimmy Buffett leased it in 1986 and turned it into a private recording studio. Over time, visitors started adding stickers to the outside of the building, turning it into a bit of an unofficial sticker wall. We joined in the fun and added our own jelly bean sticker on the northeast side of the building. From the sticker building, we followed the waterfront boardwalk, then turned right and walked a short distance along William Street to see Robert Weiland's Wailing Wall No. 52, titled Florida's Living Reef. Painted in 1993 and refreshed in 2012, the mural depicted rays, sharks, and vibrant coral to celebrate the Florida Reef. It was a bright, colorful stop that fit nicely with the waterfront setting. Our next stop was B.O.'s Fish Wagon, which was located just across the parking lot from the mural at the intersection of William Street and Caroline Street. The well-known Key West Seafood Shack had a very casual, open-air setup with handwritten menu boards as well as decor featuring visitors' license plates, stickers, and other rustic decorations. The menu included several seafood options, and we ordered a fried shrimp sandwich and a key limeade to share. We enjoyed our quick snack, and the total was just over $27 after tax. Before leaving, we followed tradition and added a jelly bean sticker to the back of one of the license plates hanging inside. Leaving the Fish Wagon, we walked southeast along William Street to address 618, the former Key West home of author and songwriter Shel Silverstein. Silverstein bought the house in the 1980s and lived there until his death in 1999. A large banyan tree that once stood on the property is said to have inspired his book, The Giving Tree. The original house was heavily damaged during Hurricane Irma in 2017 and was later replaced with a new house in a similar style. From the house, we crossed William Street and followed Karsten Lane, which felt more like a narrow alley than a regular street. At Margaret Street, we turned right and continued to the Key West Cemetery. The cemetery was established in 1847 and covered a large area in the middle of Old Town. During our visit, we walked through parts of the cemetery looking for some of the more humorous headstones and inscriptions. Some of the inscriptions we found in the eastern part of the cemetery included, "I told you I was sick, and I'm just resting my eyes." At a community mausoleum area in the southern part of the cemetery, we found others like, "I'm feeling much better now." I always dreamed of owning a small place in Key West, and if you're reading this, you desperately need a hobby. There were several other funny and unexpected inscriptions throughout the cemetery, which made it a surprisingly interesting stop during our walk. Leaving the cemetery from the same northwest entrance where we first entered, we turned left and walked south along Passover Lane. At the intersection with Windsor Lane, we turned left and followed the road to the intersection with Truman Avenue. We then turned right and walked along Truman Avenue to Key West Cuban Coffee. The small cafe had a fairly large menu full of Cuban-style food and drink options. We ordered a shredded beef sandwich with fries, an empanada, a slice of key lime pie, and an iced Cuban coffee. Our total for the tasty food was a little over $53 with tax and tip. From Key West Cuban Coffee, we walked the short distance southwest to Duval Street and turned right to follow it northwest to Matheson's. The shop had a variety of sweets available, including giant cookies, fudge, ice cream, and key lime pie. We ordered a giant chocolate chip cookie, which our jelly bean loved, along with another Cuban coffee. Our total was a little under $17 with tax. After finishing at Matheson's, we called it a day and headed back to our ship. In total, we spent about 5 hours exploring Key West's Old Town on foot. It was an easy walking day that gave us a nice mix of waterfront views, historic stops, quirky landmarks, and local food.